Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome in back to the channel. I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay, I was checking out the audio on my end. I'll wait for some of you guys to come in here. We will make this video quick. We'll try to make it quick in under an hour. Welcome in. Welcome in. Your wishes come true, baby. I'm here in the flesh and you're with me too. Hey, that rhymed. Sound is good. Okay, awesome. Okay, guys. I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to come in here, but I want to get you guys caught up to speed. First and foremost, I want to say welcome into the channel, everyone. Thanks for joining me for this psychic investigation, the curious case of Charlie Kirk, and we've been examining his field. What's his field? All the players around him. There's so many, still more people we got to get to, but right now we are really doing the psychic investigation on Mrs. Kirk because there's some very interesting things happening within her field. Welcome in, Sister Sonia, and we're going to get there. So today's going to kind of be part two of what we were doing yesterday. We're tapping into the energy of Erika Kirk, not just her energy body, but her energetic field, right? So we're taking a look at, things going on within, her biofield, her auric field, the entity attachments that we did find two entity attachments. She could be under complete control with these entities showing up very, very heavily within the field. They're almost muddying her out, and I'm kind of questioning if she is in the flesh, right? So there is a lot to talk about. There is a song that I'm channeling. It is a love song, so I'm kind of wondering if this is Erica, sending this love song to Charlie, but we're going to explore that as well. I do want to say half of the guys, half of you guys that watch this channel on a regular basis, girl, are not subscribed. Please do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. No, please, guys, really help me out to put my heart, my soul, my passion, my love into bringing these messages, because the thing about it is, it's not just about the whole world as a stage, and we know that. It's not about the individual person, but it's about us as a collective soul body. And when I tell you that this Charlie situation is like Operation Charlie, like if you had a secret mission, what would you call it? Someone emailed that to me, right? And it made so much sense. So this is Operation Charlie. And our operation R, who's R, something with the R. Okay. Someone do some research on that. Um, some name with an R. Oh. Anywho, so, and if you guys know anything, what's the operation? The operation is much larger. It's saying, humanity, stop talking, speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. What's the evil? They don't want us seeing what's behind door number 1, 2, and 3. They don't want us seeing the Israel lie that has been exposed. That's why the government had to shut down. That's why Trump made a secret deal with Israel, pay them off, crash the market, take the American money, pay them off, shut them up. It's part of Operation Charlie. And as we know, the 3-eye atlas that is supposedly coming here, the atlas is part of your neck, right? If you look at the anatomy of the human body, the atlas is part of the neck. Charlie got, so to speak, hit in the neck. I get a very heavy energy on the back of Charlie's neck. I got a heavy throat energy for Candace Owens, and the esophagus area too, and the digestive tract as well. And then yesterday we got a neck energy from Erika Kirk, but this time it felt like the energy was being siphoned out. I truly believe, as of right now, that Erika is part of Operation Charlie, is part of, when we zone out on a collective level, let's cut humanity from their atlas, the ability to look both ways, to know what's going on, and more importantly, so that you don't get to the third eye, the three-eye atlas, right? So you don't use your neck, your atlas, to open your third eye, because they know how close we are. It wasn't just Charlie that was getting too close to the truth, or Candace Owens, or all of these other people that are now coming into, into the realization that we've been getting played by Big Brother, by our government. It wasn't just that. It was the everyday man that was coming into the realization, and they had to stop that. This is part of the government shutdown. So I'm kind of recapping you guys, and we're going to jump into Erika Kirk's witchcraft energy in a moment. I'm not going to go too deep because I'm not going to be removing a whole collective witch girl, but we will just see kind of if, we can find a pulse, so to speak. Um, in Erika, there is a song coming through, so we'll go ahead and pull those lyrics up. But there's been heavy mutation of the cross. There's been a heavy KKK energy, which is extreme. The way I see it, it's the extreme. So there's been extreme witchcraft, not just done within Charlie, Candace Owens. I'm talking this witchcraft is done on the collective. If you guys know anything about the work that it is that I do, I don't deal with anything on a linear scale. Everything is multidimensional. Two things, three things, five things can be true all at the same time. Okay, this is a channel of truth. And what we do here is, yes, do we have to go through Erika to not only tap into her field, but through Erika's field, it's going to help us open up collective templates, religious templates, expose the lies from the higher up, from the Masonic order, from the one percenters that have been ruling this world over and over again. And guys, they haven't just been ruling the world that we live in now. I'm talking, these are the same people through gene manipulation that keep reseeding themselves back in every empire and in every timeline. It's all the same people. So the world is a stage, absolutely. Your celebrities are the same people from yesteryear. All your politicians are the same from yesteryear. That's why there's Barron and Trump, what are like time travelers. Like, I know it gets cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Someone like years ago showed a picture of this lady. I don't know if it was 1700s, 1800s, but not a lady, but a little girl, looked exactly like Blue Ivy Carter. It's strange. I'm telling you, these are the same people. And the more you realize that they reseed themselves because they're not human. They are using more than AI. They are using, alien technology. And they're not the good kind of aliens, right? So anything that they spring forth will not be good for the collective soul body of humanity. So that's the one thing you have to know. So yes, we are going to tap into Erika Kirk, but tapping into her is going to help us move, into a higher sphere. And I was already channeling a lot of things about that three-eye atlas that, she really is involved in, because remember, all of this is a ritual. What we are witnessing, make no mistake about it, this was Operation Charlie. Operation, let's go ahead and shut down humanity's ability to awaken. And when you actually awaken and your third eye is decalcified, you actually literally secrete an oil from the pineal gland, the same oil that they give you in church. You can do that yourself. You don't need your pimping pastor. You don't need to confess nothing to no priest. You don't need none of that, right? So this is just where we need to get to. Okay, there has been a lot going on. Now, I want to back up and also I'm going to say this, and then we're going to kind of switch around and come back to it. Here's the thing, guys. Please subscribe to the channel, guys, and like the video when you come in, please. Here's the thing, guys. There's a very heavy energy in the collective. And we're going to get back to Erika, but this is where her energy has led me to. And maybe this is just one of those videos where I'm just channeling, like, I'm a conscious channeler. So what that means is I don't have to put myself in an altered state. I can channel right from my conscious mind, and the energy is present right now. So, maybe I'll just flow with it. See, here's the thing, guys. There's some very interesting energy that is going on, not only in our 3D realm, but when I tap into all of these various drawings, these are automatic writings. When you're automatic writing, you don't know what it is you're writing. You're just doodling. It's not until I look back at it, source goes ahead, source God decodes it. And this literally has been the blueprint that we have used within this psychic investigation to crack this case wide open. And I am telling you, there is a sickness in my stomach every time I like feel that someone has an attachment through my clear sentience, the ability to feel. I found that, you know, very early on with in Candace Owens here. She has some attachments here. And Candace Owens' energy is always an inversion. So when we flip it over, we do see, you know, there is a man here, forehead, nose, beard here. There's also a E for Erika. And all of the energy is flowing back up to the Masonic order. So the same people that Candace is fighting against is actually the same people that she is actually she's sending her energy up to. Now, with Candace Owens, she's doing it unknowingly because remember we found a entity that is literally has xed her out. That's her true self. This will be her ancestry. So this is a more Afrocentric face, nose here, forehead, jaw, she's X'd out, and the X is very prominent throughout this whole thing. The X, remember, is the when they basically we poured all of our energy into Christianity, right? Because they told us to that this was a Christian nation. And then what they did once they got enough of that bottled up, they literally mutated the our energy through the cross, turning it at least 33 degrees, getting now an X instead of a cross. So this is what the X points out in every single one of these drawings. So they did that with Candace Owens' true self. And when we flip it over, there's an entity here, and he is siphoning her energy all the way up to the Masonic order with the triangle. Okay. But there's something in her womb here, womb. Also, here's Trump. This was a few days ago on Trump. There's something in his stomach area. And look what it is. Look at this face. This is like a slave. Like I said before, bulbous lips, flatter nose, kind of more Asiatic eyes here, but it does look like, you know, like I said before, there was a lot of racial mixing. Black people in this country 400 years ago would have looked a lot more like this instead of the way that I look, you know, present day. So what energy is showing up in the stomach area? It's really given, guys, they've been feasting off of our energy. And, you know, Black people has been, I guess, great for supper. And we could see that throughout history that, you know, people say that Black people are very emotional, and they are. One thing that entities love, you have to know this, they love to create an emotional trigger. And especially if they can lower your frequency and get you sad or down, depressed, anxious, anything of that, riled up, protesting, all of that. This is when they come out and they eat and they siphon. So remember that we found out in Trump's energy field that Trump is also representing the elites. There's different sectors of the elite, but make no mistake about it, they're all still the elites. So what they have been doing for the past at least 400 years or so is siphoning from, you know, Black and Indigenous people. This is how they, them as entities eat. Now, what we found out is that contract is over. They can't do it anymore. So now they are switching their focus to white males. And I have seen this since last year. I said we will start to see, and we see people tearing down the patriarchy. Even white people are calling other people white supremacists. So we actually see it. This will rev up because the contract siphoning from Indigenous and Black people, that seems to be over. So their new thing is that you will see a lot more white males targeted. And I'm, you know, this is just what I've been seeing for over a year. So that's kind of that, right? So now here's the thing. This is also another automatic drawing of Candace Owens that I did just, this was probably, you know, within the past 5 days. This is her head looking down. That's an E over her head for Erika. There's her back slump sitting on her bum, feet coming down and anchor coming in. This is also her womb. This would be her, oh, her stomach area. And, you know, there's a lot going on in the stomach. What I'm trying to say, do you see that nail? there's witchcraft happening in the stomach is what I'm pointing out. And I'm going to tie this back into Erika, because remember, we found where the source of the witchcraft was coming from. We found that in Erika Kirk's energy field yesterday, and it's coming from her heart, right? So I want to point out to you what is the sign for the witchcraft. But just because it's showing up in Candace's field and in some of the other players' field, what I'm telling you is this is a collective witchcraft that they have been doing on humanity. They've just been cycling us through loops and spells. None of this has been real. None of this has been true. None of this has been about God. And none of this has been about you. It has all been about them making money. That's it. So, my sign for the witchcraft, there's this nail that keeps popping up. And this was in Candace Owens. This was within the last 5 days. Here's that nail. It's a finger and a nail. This is happening at the lower, a finger and a nail happening at the lower part of her root chakra. So this is my sign for attachment, right? That's a nail there. Now, I think I also found that in Charlie's as well. One second. I'm going to go ahead and find that. Give me a second here. Okay, so now this I did on Charlie on 10/13. So this will be the most updated one that I have on him. And this would be, did you see this? Looks like a face. This is his consciousness. It's kind of like a bubble. Remember I told you I felt like his consciousness was being extracted. Look, it's this would be his head quadrant. And this would kind of be him. It's in a bubble. But look, this looks like an external consciousness. You get a nose there, forehead, mouth area down to a neck, something with horns, something with horns. And if you look at this, it looks like an E. Candace Owens has that same thing. Look, right here above her head. E. I'm telling you, this has Erika's energy all over it. How is it possible that Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, if they're supposed to be just friends, how is it possible that Candace Owens literally is showing up with more concern than his wife is? And not only that, it feels as if these two are energetically moving into the same positioning. And so this is why I worry for Candace Owens, because energetically, she is moving into a position not of power energetically, but of literally bondage. And remember, that's what happened to Charlie. He was in a position, an energetic positioning of bondage, and then the event happened. Same thing I spot in Candace Owens' field. She is also susceptible to a Charlie event, Operation Charlie event as well. And of course, they can't do it now because she's been so vocal and speaking out. And Spirit is saying this is why she decided to be so boisterous, to protect herself. She's very smart. This was her way of protecting herself. If they try to touch her now, it would be too obvious. Not to say that they just will do it and not care, but we would all know. Even if they said it was something else, we would all know. This is, I think she sat down with her and her family, and I think this was one of the things that they came up with for her to be overly talkative about it, so that if anything ever happened to her, we would have everything recorded. They would have everything recorded, okay? So this is given E energy, but here's that nail again. Look at that nail there. This is the nail here. It's like a finger, and then the nail grows. That's what we're saying, the witchcraft. So the witchcraft for Charlie is not over, even though he's supposed to be dead. Someone is still, the witch is over him, over the consciousness. Does this consciousness want to go into Charlie's empty consciousness that we see here, which has an E here? If you look at it this way, it's an E. If you look at it this way, we see some C's. And if you look at it right here, we get the witch's nail again. And remember, in the dream my sister had, the witch's nail is what stuck a man in the back of the neck. And so we get the same, and it grew out of one of her fingers. So we get a finger here and then a growing nail. This is a weapon. That's what stuck him, which I presume to be Charlie. Then we get a lot of 8 energy here, which is loop or infinity loop. This is a looping energy. This consciousness is attached to Erika. This consciousness, this witch consciousness, it's not just for Charlie or Candace Owens. It's much, much larger. And I'm telling you, this ties back to something going on in the GI tract of humanity. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you've been having problems with your stomach. Which, if you've been having problems either with your stomach, your GI tract, like you've been clogged up, or you've been, not clogged up, like the opposite of that. If you've just been having problems with your stomach, there's something going on within all of this, and it all points to the stomach. And it feels as if we're either part of Operation Charlie is not just attacking the atlas, the neck, cutting you off from the third eye, which source calls the 3-eye atlas that's coming AI atlas, which is Big Brother surveillance. It's an AI to surveillance, and there is a Grand Wizard mothership that is coming. I think the Grand Wizard mothership, this energy is part of it. This energy is also part of Erika. But this energy, you see how it is above the man, like looking from above. It's not physical. This is given outer space vibes, out of the field looking in. It's giving, I'm also hearing the Great Temptress as well, just a sidebar, but it's kind of giving, you can tell when something is in your field, it looks like this. This is Erika Kirk, right? This is her field. This is her eye area. That's her heart area. And this will be the lower extremities of the body. But all of these are just like energetic protections in her field. This is not in the field. Do you see the positioning, how it's looking down at like a 90-degree angle? This is something external, extraterrestrial like. Looking down into the situation. Then this would be Charlie. Okay. And so I don't know if this consciousness wants to go in here or if it wants to influence this consciousness, but there is something extraterrestrial about this whole thing. This thing sitting above Candace's head, her head's down. These are those thought forms, negative thought forms, satanic thought forms, her thoughts of other people. Here's that E for Erika hovering over her head, but this is still in her field. So the Erika situation is weighing her down. It's literally, she's losing her position of power, and she's now kind of just slumped over, much like Charlie was in his initial drawing. And there's her feet down here, and something is coming in to anchor her. And it's interesting that I have a new automatic drawing, and it's very interesting. There's a face right in the middle. We're going to get to that. There's a lot going on. There's an absolute lot going on. But I want to stay right here because Charlie Kirk, this would be his stomach area. Wait, let me turn it over. There's a face here too. The heck? This would be like where his stomach area is. There's something going on there. Candace Owens' stomach, something going on there. Trump's stomach down here, something going on there. They're all attachments. And this one has a nail too. In Trump's field, Trump also has the witch's nail as well. And it's located right there. It looks like an A because it's two things. I was getting anti. When I look at it, it looks like anti, but then it's also a nail. He has the witch's nail in the lower, in the top part of this entity that is attached to his stomach as well. And then it also at the same time is giving Antichrist energy. Here's a 6, that's his energy. And all those 3s, 3 6s, 666 energy. Every single one of these people have something on their left side showing up on your right. This is my left. That's Candace, Trump energy. Left side for me is entity. Charlie again. Candace Owens again. Entity. Common thread is there is an entity watching all of these players. I want you to know that because it's important that we know that. But I find it very interesting that these feel like entities that are present with them within their field, right? But then when we get this one, which is the most recent one that I did for Charlie, we get this energy, which the positioning, the 90-degree angle, it feels like this is outside of the field. So it's a larger energy outside of the field. So here's my thing. The entity attachment is one thing. Trump has an energy attachment. Candace Owens has an energy attachment, which we helped to clear her. Charlie as well, remember? But here's the thing. It's very multidimensional, and there's layers to this. You can have an individual attachment, as we see here. They all have an individual attachment. But now this one is not an attachment, but an energy looking from the outer worlds. It's not in the field. You would think, okay, if you were to imagine God watching everyone, this is the position that this thing is taken. And I believe that this thing is the Grand Wizard mothership that is coming, the 3-eye Atlas. This thing that is extraterrestrial in nature, that is not in the field, but rather looking down into the field and possibly energetically controlling the entity that is the attachment. This thing, I get the 3-eye Atlas energy. The Grand Wizard mothership is what sources said. We also get the 3 eyes in Erika. Erika's field. Remember, this was her drawing we did yesterday. This would be her head quadrant. This would be the middle part of her body, and this would be the leg part. We get 3 eyes here. That's an eye, that's an eye, and that's an eye. So we get 3 eyes, and this eye right here on the left side is a pupil. This is where we found the reptilian attachment. I truly believe that whatever this thing is synced in to this eye, the left eye of Erika. And if you know anything about the reptilians, because I remove entities for a living, the reptilians will hook into the ocular or oculomotor nerve behind the eye. Most of the time, it's the left. Could be the right, but 9 times out of 10, it is that left eye. And so now my question is, how many layers is this? So what I'm seeing is this is definitely reptilian energy hooked into her left eye. So what we're seeing, we're about to layer this thing. What we are seeing here is, okay, what we're seeing here, this is a reptilian attachment she has. This is the thing looking down from the 3-eye Atlas. This is part of that energy. So she still has a entity attachment as a personal, cellular being, just as the rest. But the difference is it's showing up above Charlie, above Candace, and above Trump. But with Erika, it's showing up as part of her through her eye. So what I'm saying is through Erika's eye, whatever entity, whatever reptilian that is connected to Erika, and it's viewing all of them. Because remember, the reptilians, they like to get in control of your body. They want to see and view through your eyes. They need to get down here into a body, into physicality, so that they can control things. That's what they do. And so what I'm saying is the reptilian is in the left eye of Erika, controlling the motions, controlling the things. But it shows up Erika as an external energy over Candace and Trump. And that's Candace again. And Charlie. Hold on. I'm noticing something. Hold on. I am noticing something. That's Charlie. And that's Erika. Hold on. Something is very auspicious. Okay. This is Trump. The entity is over him. Okay. This is Candace. The entity is over her. This is another Candace. The entity is over her. I got so many pages. So many pages. Hey, this is interesting. This is Charlie's original one. He doesn't have an entity over him, but rather he has Trump's 6 inside of his head. And he's just a total victim in this. This is a total victim picture. His back sloped over, sitting on his bum, feet in bondage, head down, ready for the atlas, the neck to be cut. But here's the thing. I don't get the external. Hold on, I'm getting the external entity in his field. However, it is in a different positioning than Trump and Candace Owens. And this is interesting. Hold on. Is Charlie in on it? This is the very first one I did of Charlie. There was some sort of energetic path here. There's this energy anchoring down his feet. And then within here, we do see some sort of, this was all about the mental body. This was representing his brain, but it also has a depth of consciousness within. So could be another consciousness or the magnification of just his consciousness. But nevertheless, we did see this is how it started with the arrow wanting to anchor him down. This is how it ended with him in bondage, slunched over. So these two things do go together. But now this is kind of interesting because on the 13th, this is Charlie on the 13th. This is like his empty consciousness here. But now this extraterrestrial thing shows up in his drawing. So you see what I'm saying? There's the entity that is here within their fields. And then there's this thing, which is extraterrestrial, meaning it's far away. It's observing from a different viewpoint or vantage point. This thing is attached to this thing with it, which is Erika. However, there is an intermediary in between. I know it gets difficult. This thing, look at that. Doesn't that look like extraterrestrial energy? Like this is a whole alien. Like it has horns and like a weird things coming out of the head. Do you guys see my dilemma here? We got the reptilian attachment here. And in Erika, it doesn't feel like it's a forceful attachment. This is an attachment that she is allowing this. Unlike the other fields, we can see that it was just there above it, forcing itself in. That's not what we get here. She's part of it. She's open. Her eye is open, and the pupil is open to see, to navigate. I am stumped. I'm stumped. There's also a very interesting thing happening within the last photo I did of Charlie. Does this not look like a face? Look at this line here. And doesn't this look like some lips from a face? Like half of the face is gone, but yet this part is the lips of something. And then what is that? Did it speak something? But it's also a C if you look at it. Is this thing you manipulating the consciousness so that this thing can speak and spew whatever this is? Then there's E, Erika, right next to it. You see what I'm saying? It's given. This is Charlie. This is Charlie. Remember when I said I felt that I felt that they were going to use him, like body hop his consciousness into like some civil rights leader? Right before I sat down here, I was channeling Coretta Scott King, Martin Luther King's wife. I was channeling her. Because remember, this is the energy that I feel that they are leading Erika Kirk into a Coretta Scott King. Her husband passed away. He got assassinated, right? She carried out his legacy, right? It's kind of the same thing. But now when we look at this external energy, which I truly believe this is that witch, but it's also attached to the 3-eye atlas, the grand wizard mothership that's coming. This feels like a consciousness that is controlling that thing and things of that stature. This thing is literally speaking down. That's the nose. Here's the mouth area. Chin, neck. This thing is literally speaking down. Look, that's a mouth. It's speaking through someone. This energy has been speaking through someone. And this is Charlie. Now, this could be Charlie before the event, or it could be Charlie after of what I saw. Remember how I said before? Because remember, this consciousness is empty. That's the shell of his consciousness. Ooh, I just saw something. Ooh, don't that look like a little face there? Looks like a flatter nose. Some lips. Forehead. Squint. Baby. Hold on. This is about to validate something we got weeks ago. Hold on, y'all. Look, remember the slave guy down in Trump's field? The protruding lips, flat. See how flat that nose is? And the eyes are kind of sunk in. They're very Asiatic. This is the nail again. Looks like a thumb, but it's also given anti. Look at that. And then it has like the coil of the hair, more like negroid, or afro texture hair. And if we look here, think about the positioning. This consciousness is looking down here, speaking through C, Charlie. Charlie is speaking whatever this is. Erika is right next to him, supporting this message. Look at the empty consciousness. What did I say? Did I not tell y'all they were going to put his consciousness in a black man? Remember? A few videos back, last week, the week before, I said, I saw Charlie Kirk's consciousness going into a black man. This guy will be some sort of civil rights activist, some sort of activist for black people. Look, now imagine him. This is coily hair, the same coils, Afro texture hair. Now, these would be where the eyes is. That's kind of the forehead. You know how some people have a forehead that kind of comes over, like their eyes kind of come like they have heavy lids. That looks like that's where that is, the eye. Look at his nose. This is a flatter nose. But if you look, he's kind of positioned down. Those are two lips. Top lip, bottom lip. Possibly some facial hair in the beard. Same energy. His lips are just more profound, but if we were to scale his lips back, this is Trump's. This is what's showing up in Trump's lower abdomen. Remember how I was saying last year, Trump is going to have some stomach issues. I'm telling y'all, there's something about, oh my God. Yo, this is getting big. Hold on. Hold on. This is getting massive, y'all. Oh, I got to get off soon. I got a client session, but look, it's getting big. Hold on. I said last year. Okay, so to let's stay on this. That is a black man. Remember I said this is kind of emptiness. It's a shell of a black man. His consciousness is not in there yet. Doesn't feel full yet. This is validating. When I tell you the same people reseating themselves in every situation. Now, could this be this Charlie could be forced into this, of course, because if Charlie truly passed away and they siphon his consciousness and he has no say of where he's going, that could still be totally true and correct. And why would somebody volunteer for that? You know, unless you could hop into a body during the day and hop back into your body at night, enough time to kiss your kids and your wife. And maybe that's why your wife can't produce a tear. I mean, we have to explore it. Maybe she can't produce a tear because he hasn't really gone anywhere. Have we ever thought about that? Maybe that's why she can't cry. Maybe that's why she slipped up 3 times in her first interview in his office, as if he was still here. Like she just kept referencing him as if he was still here. That's another angle, I'm just saying, to explore. Because is anybody truly that code? Maybe it's hard for her to produce a tear and a real, genuine, heartfelt energy. Maybe because she knows that at the end of the day, she still has his consciousness, whether that's in the body of Charlie Kirk or going into another man to play a role. And you know why? What did I say? The contract for them siphoning off of Black and Indigenous people, I saw that in the reading, that was energetically had ran out. What did I say? I said, I see an uptick of white men being targeted. So if white men are going to start being targeted, would you not want to be in a Black body so that you could stay in control? We have to think about it. Yes, you would. And if you're people who's attached to Tesla, Donald Trump's family is attached to Tesla and attached to literally the draconian reptilians and all of these elites and, extraterrestrial beings, if you had the ability to stay in power, you would move your consciousness to whatever vessel that would allow you to echo your message and to stay in power and to have the control. It's the same people being reseated over and over and over and over again. And until we wake up, and when we say the world is a stage, and until we wake up and understand that, we're going to be trapped in linear thinking forever. Nothing is as it seems. Nothing. Now, at this point, I cannot tell you if Charlie is in on it or not, but what I can say is what I said weeks ago when I felt there was a division of his mind. And now I see that it's another data point that Charlie's consciousness is going into another vessel, and it appears to be black. That is what I'm saying. So if you get, I'm telling you, if we get a new civil rights leader that is black or biracial or indigenous or ethnic in any way, I'm telling you that it could very well be Charlie Kirk's consciousness. Whether it's willingly, like I said, I don't know why someone would do this willingly or unwillingly, but this is just what I see. And so maybe look at this thing right behind this shell of consciousness, right behind it, speaking through this thing, but also in a way keeping this thing at bay. This thing, this entity is attached to Erika, his wife. Remember I said she was doing sex magic on him? Sex magic? Guys, subscribe to the channel, please, and like the video. Remember I said that? She was applying everyday witchcraft. She needed to apply the everyday witchcraft to keep this thing above all of this. This thing is talking through, this looks like Charlie. This thing, what I say? Something's wrong with the collective GI tract. Something's wrong with our stomach as a collective. This energy is almost keeping this energy in position. It's very multi-layered. And then here's E for Erika. Here. This energy, remember, there's the back of the legs, feet, there's still that anchor here. This man does not have autonomy over himself. I'm still getting that. I'm still leaning towards the consciousness is taken out, getting prepped to go into something else, but also this was being either will be controlled in the future. His body is not. His body is anchored down still. He's not in control. I don't care if he was in on it. It feels like they could have flipped the script because I do not see him, the lower part of him, being sovereign. Just like here, bondage. Candace Owens, sitting on her bum there. Feet, the anchor coming in, bondage. E for Erika above, there's that entity. Erika applying the everyday witchcraft, keeping these entities at bay so that the bigger entity can have time to control and siphon the whole thing, which is humanity on a collective scale. And I'm telling you, there's something going on inside of the stomach. Does America? I'm getting America. Remember how I was channeling, how Erika was Miss America, and I was saying Miss Erika, like that. Like Source was having me say it like that. You know what I feel? It's going to sound crazy. It feels like America has an entity attached to the GI tract. And months ago, last year, if you look back in the videos last year, I had a vision of something happening in Washington, D.C. And Source showed me like pipes, like when a president gets up to stand and talk on a podium. Like I saw that as like a bunch of pipes where like it being in a bathroom. So my sign when things are in a bathroom, it means dirty, hidden, secret. And then I saw like the pipes of the bathroom or the pipes of our presidential house or Washington, D.C. just burst and no one could believe what was happening. I think that burst was this Israel lie being exposed, and literally how in bed America is in this blood covenant with Israel. I think that is what I was seeing, and everyone was shocked, right? So I'm telling you, the energy of America, this is what I'm getting, and this is why they needed to use Miss America, Erika, Miss Erica, Miss America, because wasn't she Miss American, Miss America pageant, which Trump was her boss? That's why they had to use her, because she fit the codes, because it's all Masonic and esoteric. She fit the codes. And so they had to use her. But I'm telling you, when I told you about the cross, how they took our energy, said, "Oh no, this is a Christian nation," took our energy, funneled it up through the cross, and then they did some sort of witchcraft. I said they did witchcraft, and they basically siphoned all of our energy, all of our good energy that we were putting into God, into the cross, into our tithing, all of that for all of these years. And then they did some sort of witches spell, and they turned our energy at least, like I said, a minimum of 33 degrees to create a mutation of the cross. Turn it into the X that I see all over this thing, which to me, the only way I can describe that is the KKK energy. And I say that because it's extreme. Is it sort of this extreme, when we talk about nationalism, but we talk about the far right is white nationalism, which now it kind of has. See, if you go too much far right, where we're going to end up is the KKK energy, right? And then after that, we just swing back around to the other side, which is back to the left, right? So this is what I'm getting, that whatever energy and that America has partaken in, because you are part of your country. You're part of your country. And whatever dirt, whatever energy they got themselves wrapped up in, it wasn't just Israel genociding Gaza, it was America too. You have to know that, because America is in a blood covenant with Israel. They are one. This is what Source has said. This is why I keep getting the stomach area. It's collective, yeah, but it's giving it's that Babylonian energy, that harlot, the whore of Babylon energy. It's more than Miss America, Miss Erica. It's America. It's the children of America. There's something happening. I think that I think there is a collective American entity that attacks the stomach. You know that this food here makes everybody sick. I'm telling you, these people have been doing witchcraft on us. There's that nail, Candace Owens, bottom of her stomach. Trump has the nail in the bottom of his stomach. And remember, I was channeling last year, heavy, heavy gastro energy from him. I'm telling you, either he will be treated for gastro something in the stomach soon, but this is also duality. This is what is happening. And I was channeling literally last year, where I had a vision inside of a dream where the pipes burst in our presidential house. Would you think about the pipes bursting? We can also equate that to something happening within the stomach bursting. They have been, I'm telling you, what I know, they have been applying witchcraft to us in America, and it is messing up our GI tract. I'm really truly getting that. It's messing up our stomach, our system, the intuition. Not only do they need to cut you off from the three eye and the atlas, but your stomach is deeply rooted in your intuition. That's when this has witchcraft all over it. I am telling you. I am telling you. And as far as Erica, she's just a vessel that they are using because she fits the codes. Miss America, Miss Erica. She fits the codes. She's a vessel that the reptilian is using. She's a vessel to apply the everyday witchcraft. She's a vessel to apply the sex magic on Charlie, putting things in position energetically, applying the everyday witchcraft. But it's a bigger entity. It's whatever this thing is attached to, the three eye atlas, this grand wizard mothership. that has some sort of alien looking being that has horns coming out the head. It's like it's given like a Satan energy, but that's a woman, right? It's like half it's like a mysterious, is it half male, half woman, something like that. It could have a male part but have woman upper body. You see what I'm saying? Hermaphrodite energy is the energy that I get with this thing, innately feminine but yes male at the same time. Yeah, I'm kind of posing a question to myself. Are they trying to leave this earth? That just came up. Are they trying to leave this earth? Okay, hold on, let me listen. Hmm. And I'm also getting that song Forever Young. Let me see if I can find the lyrics. Let's dance in style. Let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait. We're only watching the skies, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? I can't even make this up. I started channeling that song, Forever Young. I wanna be forever young. That song. It literally, verse one. Let's dance in style. Let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait. We're only watching the skies. What have we been doing? Watching the skies. There's been so much activity in our skies. What's on the way? The three-eye atlas. What is watching from the sky? This thing, this entity. This is what's watching from the sky. Heaven can wait. This thing ain't attached to no heaven. Hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Remember the question I posed? Are they trying to escape this place? Because remember, the reason why they have to suck and siphon off our energy is because we are solar beings, because we have a soul. They don't have that. They may have a spirit, but they do not possess a soul. Therefore, they cannot transition past this point. And so what they can do is just keep reseating themselves at the top of the hierarchy every time because they are serving a lifetime prison sentence here. It's a prison planet for them and can be a school or a university. It used to be a university for us. It was a university when Yeshua lived. It was a university then. So they just said, are you going to drop the bomb or not? Well, so when I said, are they trying to leave this place? Maybe there's a bomb that's going to happen. And maybe part of Three Eye Atlas coming back is not just to big brother us, it is AI. And I said, we'll never get rid of it. I think they're going to use this Three Eye Atlas, which is, source said, a grand wizard mothership, which I presume that this energy is also part of it. I think they're going to use it to defend the skies in this world from other beings entering into the biosphere. I think that AI mothership will be used to defend the skies. I do. And so there is a bomb energy. So guys, if you guys know, I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I specialize in past life regression therapy. So when I have clients, I've had 3 clients and we did a past life regression and every single one of them has given account of seeing a time in the future, and this was around 2032, where Russia drops a bomb and nukes this place. It nukes America, but then it ends up spreading to the rest of the world because of the gases. So they all kind of gave account of that all around the same 2-3 year period. And they were all like different variations. One of the bombs fell on land, the other one fell in the water, polluted the water, and everyone still died, you know? So it kind of is, like I said, are they trying to save themselves? They're going to try to defend themselves in these skies as much as they can. But maybe one day they just say, let's just nuke the place because we got a ticket out of here finally after all these eons because we haven't had a soul to truly return. And that's why they skew the cross, because it means nothing to them because they can't go, because they don't have true heart space, right? So the second verse is, let us die young or let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sand pit, life is a short trip. The music for the sad men. Turn our golden faces. Oh, can you imagine when this race is won? Turn our golden faces into the sun. Praising our leaders, we're getting in tune. The music played by the madman. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever, forever and ever? Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever, forever young? These are some very interesting lyrics to be channeling at such a time in this message. So, music for the sad men. They pacify us with these things, music and television and all of that. And it's saying, can you imagine when the race is won? This is the sadistic mind of these beings and entities that we call leaders. Turn our golden faces into the sun. Praising our leaders. Yeah, your draconian reptilian leaders. We're getting in tune. The music played by the madman, turning us, lowering our energy, turning us through all of the hardships into madmen. And then we become the tune that they're listening to. You see that siphon in that lyric? If you're paying attention, they say, yeah, let's give them the music. That's for the sad man to listen to, mourn to, pour your energy into that. Then later in the third verse, we're going to take that, take that. Diddy. We're going to take that, flip that. And so the sad music that you listen to now has your energy on it. And so now this is what we feast off of. This is crazy. It's a whole siphon fest. It goes back to this place being a siphon fest. It really truly does. And I know this was a lot to kind of dive into. And yeah, guys, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. I do have to get out of here because I have a client session coming up. But you know, it's just another data point that, you know, of more of what we said. She's literally been applying the everyday witchcraft. She doesn't have full autonomy over herself. She has AI implanted thoughts. You know, she's just here to do the devil's work. I mean, she's just here to do the work she's been contracted to do. And I don't even want to like say anything bad about her per se, because she took this oath, this blood contract or whatever at the age of 14. She was very young. I'm kind of questioning her parents as well. And it's interesting. Where are her parents, by the way? Where's Charlie's parents? Where's everybody at? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And someone asked Baphomet, solar plexus. Yep. Someone asked, and my name is a female version of Charlie. Oh, Charles. Yeah. So every night, call your energy back, whole cleanse and purify, detach from any energetic cords. And all these people, I'm telling you, all of these people in your life right now, they are, this is the year of the nine, guys. I've experienced this. These people know that we are pulling away because we're going to nirvana, because we have arisen and awakened. They can't go because they haven't done the work. But they want to try to link you into their energy field, pull you down, call you with all their problems and their sickness and all of that to lower you. And then what? You now become lowered like them. And then that's what these leaders, so to speak, do to start feasting off of you. It's the 1-2 remix that they do. So someone said, is she pregnant? Because remember, I was channeling a heavy pregnancy energy when I first tapped into her energy like 4 weeks ago. I am not getting that as of right now, but I have not checked. But it's kind of energy. I was going to say it's kind of interesting, but then I said it's kind of energy. I think it's an energy. Remember, I was kept talking about the stomach. I think she holds the energy in her stomach, which is part of the entity, which is attacking all these other people. Remember, I kept talking about everybody's things are showing up in the stomach. The witch's nails are showing up in the stomach of Trump and Candace. And I'm not sure if it showed up in Charlie, but it showed up once for Trump, twice for Candace, and just a kind of an 8 energy is showing up for in the stomach of Charlie. So I don't see the nail there per se, but this may be a nail. There's definitely a mutation happening within his stomach. Okay, so the stomach is mimicking a pregnancy. Oh, does she got a little baby demon up in there? Baby, baby reptilian? No, what I'm saying is, I think the stomach energy is attached to everything in this reading, with everyone else having energy entities in the stomach. I think that's where we were pulling that energy from. Okay. Whew. Lots going on, guys. Lots going on. Mm. Okay, there's still more to explore. This is oh, what a crazy web that has been weaved here. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I love you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel. There'll be some links down below if you want to book your own quantum telepathic reading. Spiritual diagnosis, I do have that discounted into the end of the month. And if you're interested in learning how to be a psychic investigator and learn over 20 different quantum healing modalities, then email me instructions number 4 humanity@gmail.com. Guys, I love you so much, and so it is as we walk together in divine love. Be well. Bye.